What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Sunday watch list. This week, I am seeing A-plus setups across the board. Last week really was kind of consolidating in the middle of those great trade opportunities as well. And on Friday, we finally caught a big rejection after trying to break to the upside. We ended up projecting these highs again here on SPY. All of these zones you see on my chart are the only zones that I will be interested in taking trades off of for SPY this week. And I'll cover them exactly why a little bit right now. But before we get into that, let's get into some economic data before we go deeper into the charts. This week we have the 10 a.m. News catalysts. Always important to be aware of those, like I say in every week. We have some on Monday. Tuesday we have job openings, and we have Jerome Powell speaking right off of the open, right when the stock market opens on July 2nd. So just something to be aware of. Wednesday, we have FOMC minutes. So it doesn't have a big reaction like the actual FOMC meeting. It's just like a recap of, it happens usually a couple weeks after the actual FOMC meeting, which was a couple weeks ago. They just do a recap of what they ended up covering. And then, right, 4th of July, I believe the market will be closed. So also a short week to keep note, or 1 day short. And then on Friday, employment report. That should be at 5:30 a.m. So we'll see what happens off of this before the market opens. Now heading into the charts, we did catch a big rejection off at 550, and we got back inside of this range. This is a range, look, from 542 to 546, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We broke out, retested, made a move up on Friday, and then rejected right back below the zone. So this zone, this level here, this 546 is going to be used as resistance supply again. So if we catch any type of rejects here, I'm interested in shorting back down to 542.5, and anything below 542.5, I'm very interested in going short into 539. Now, this is a very aggressive rejection, right? This is a strong bearish candle with volume, and I can definitely see 540 incoming. I definitely see 540 incoming. We have a daily 21 there, which is very respected as a support level as well every time we come to the 21. As you could see, this whole wave up in 2023, we've been respecting the 21 EMA the whole way up, right? Except this time here where we got a cross down and we made a move lower. Now I'm expecting this to kind of this is a good area to catch some relief bounces off of, but overall, I think over a longer period of time, I think we will come to fill this gap. So below 539, 540, we have a gap down to 537. And I think that's going to be my main target over the next week or two if we do get weak. Now, in the bullish scenario, if we start reclaiming this zone, this 547, then we can start, right, taking trades back into 550s. So something to just be aware of. But based off of this daily candle, I am leaning a little bit more towards the downside to the 540. QQQ, very similar. Look at this very bearish daily candle. This is most likely going to form a double top, right? If you guys know what a double top is, one top, two. And I think we're headed back down towards this 475, 473 area. So this zone up here was supply. We rejected it right there. And very similar, this was kind of like a zone here as well. We reject here, bounce here. And that's exactly where we stopped at on Friday. So anything below this zone here on Qs should give us room back down into 474.6 to 473.5. So I think that's going to be a nice move coming into this week. A break and retest below this should get us a move down to here. Anything below that these levels here, the gap fill starts here at 471.35. We have the daily 21 around the 472. So we need a clean break below 472, 471.35 to get us a move down into 468. A little bit more of a move down for Qs, but we did break down with, we did get rejected with volume. So definitely something that I will be paying attention to, this gap fill down here. Other than that, across the board, we have great setups. We have Amazon was very bullish last week, right? We finally rejected a psychological level at 200, but since we broke its all-time high here at 191.5. We haven't come back to retest it. So this is a good bounce area as it's retesting its previous high. I'm not sure how, I don't think it'll catch that big of an aggressive bounce, but it is a relief bounce area. Just more so because the overall market looks bearish. This won't be one of my favorite setups, but it could be a nice relief bounce area. Now, Microsoft is going to be one of my top setups. This is a potential reversal. As you can see, all these highlighted zones that I have here are just lower highs and or higher lows and higher highs. And we finally are starting to catch a reversal from this trend line on the daily chart. Right, if I start over on the daily chart, this is called the evening star candle, right? This is a candlestick pattern. It looks like this, right? It is a reversal candle, and that is what is currently forming right now. We have been on a very strong uptrend on Microsoft. Fix that trend line. We've been on a very strong uptrend here on Microsoft, and we're finally getting a breakdown of this trend line. This was a rejection level here and up here. So I want to see it stay below these levels, preferably a reject off this 452, 451 area to continue to get a move down into the 443 area here, 441. And anything below that should be a nice move down into 436.6, 437 area. So those are my targets to the downside. If the risk reward on this can be something like this, we get an entry near these areas, right? Something like that, or even like that to try to catch it down to here. Preferably trying to get an entry up in these areas though. So something like that. 3.3 to 1 risk reward ratio. I think this is going to be a nice reversal. Daily candle looks very, like I said, it's the evening star candle. So that's my watch from Microsoft, one of my top watches with time. Nvidia, very similar. This daily candle rejected this 127.5, 128 area. This is a bearish hammer shooting star candle. And below 122.5 should give us a nice move down into 115. And like the 118 to 115 area. I really like these areas right here. Let's see, yeah, kind of like the 118 to 115 area below 122.5. I think that's a great move. Nvidia looks a little bit bearish. Anything above 128, that's where we could start pushing higher. So kind of like in a range here on Nvidia. You can see it's been back and forth between these two levels, 128, 122. So waiting for a break and retest out of one of those levels, leaning a little bit more down towards 118. Meta, one of my favorite setups for the week is going to be Meta as we broke above a key level, which was a 510. Look how we reject aggressively here, reject aggressively, fell, reject aggressively here. And we finally break and retest it on Thursday. We get the move up, and on the retest again, we no longer hold it. So back below that level, I will use it as a reject level at the 510. For a move down into 500 psychological level, and below 500 is 493. So that'll be a nice reject. It'll look something like this, right? Move down, reject, and the risk reward on that is pretty good as well. Something like this, stops above that to target that. 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, and anything below that, I mean, it could really get aggressive on the daily chart. That is another evening star candle, a lot bigger though, right? It's a much bigger one. This is a really nice evening star candle, right? That's what it looks like. Reversals across the board. This is a great setup that I do like. And below 490, 493, that's where we start heading lower towards this 480s, these 482s areas. So I do really like this setup going into the week. Google, very similar, right? Another evening star pattern. This has been on an uptrend as well. And I like the other ones a little bit better. Below the previous high at 181, right? That was earnings high, new all-time high, 181. Broke above it, retested, held. A failure to hold that, which looks like it's going to happen, should get us to move down into 178 and on the 175 area. So just something to be aware of. Not my favorite setup. I do like NVIDIA and Meta and Microsoft a lot more. Those are going to be my top 3 setups for the week, along with SPY and Qs. I don't want to make this watch just too long. But if we are scrolling through some different side watches, I think Netflix has potential for reversal too. Room down into 660s as it rejected these highs as well, 690. So room into 660s for Netflix. One name that has relative strength compared to the overall market is FedEx, right? We broke, retested this 290, 291, and we're pushing highs. So above 300, a hold above 300, FedEx can keep pushing, right? Other than that, that is going to be my Sunday watch list. Keep it fairly short, fairly simple. SPY, QQ, Microsoft, Meta, and Nvidia. Those are my top three watches for the week. This might be one if we get a break of this trend line right here as well on SMCI. This can give us room down into these areas here. 700, 673, a break and retest of this trend line here. This looks just on the weekly time frame. It looks like it's just forming lower highs here, right? We have a high, lower high, kind of forming that downtrend. And yeah, I want to see these levels get taken out. So we'll see what happens. That is going to be our watch list for the week. I hope you guys all have a great trading week. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and join the free broadcast channel for updated watch lists. _Lex trades on Instagram. It's completely free. Thank you guys for watching.